Hello and welcome to another BlenderWiz video tutorial. This is the 10th part of the 1957 Ford Thunderbird series. In this episode, we are going to be focusing on the interior. We are going to replace the dashboard from last time with a better one. After making the new dash, we are going to create the padding for the door and continue to finish off the interior padding for the rest of the car. Okay, so let's get right in on the dash. So yeah, as I was saying, I don't really like this dash, and in fact it doesn't actually look that much like the dashboard for this car. So let's go ahead and actually just straight up delete it. Let's reposition our cursor. Oops. The cursor. Before we go further though, let's take a close look at it. So I've downloaded some reference images to look at. Here's one of them. It's pretty straight on. So we can see that there are two sticking out sections and kind of a pushed in section here where all the dials and knobs are. So we'll have to bring those out. And then over here in the corners, the lower one kind of comes down the door, and you can't see it from this angle, but maybe you can better from this one. Nope. Maybe this one. There we go. So this lower bump out kind of runs down and it makes way for the door handle. And it just kind of continues back to the back of the car. Okay. And then this top bump makes up the padding along the top rim of the vehicle. So we'll have to make sure that we incorporate that, and it just makes it all the way around. Next though, it's not a continuous thing. It's got this bump right here for all the dials and knobs. So we'll have to put that in. Okay, and now we also have all of these little creases, so we'll have to put those guys in too. And finally, it very tightly follows the curve of the car. So let's get back to our vehicle. Let's go ahead and hide our windshield and all of the glass stuff that's in our way right now. And I just want to take this top rim right here. This top rim, hit Shift D and duplicate it, hit P and separate by selection. So this is going to make up our new dash, so I want to name it dash. And we probably should have been doing this a little bit more than we have, but that's okay for now. Okay, and so now we are just going to go along and try to bring this one out as best we can. So let's just fill in these vertices like so. And then, well, can't fall off too much because this has to stay pretty even, although we can a little bit right over in here. I think there's an extra vertice down here. There it is. Let's delete it. Okay, so we can pull these guys up here. Let's hit O to bring up the proportional editing. Actually, let's hit Alt-O so that it only has proportional editing on connected vertices. And we can just bump this up ever so slightly and bring this one down. And then let's hit Alt-O again and to turn it off. I just want to bring this one down a little bit, like so. Okay. So these vertices here are, actually let's unhide the car now. So if we go back to our image here, we can see that it falls off right before the back of the windshield. So let's unhide our windshield. So it's going to come out a bit further than that. So let's grab that vertex there too. Just pull it back, like so. Right about there should be good. Okay. Let's go ahead and hide the car. Well, not exactly what I had in mind, but there we go. So the next thing is getting this shape for the padding. And I'm just going to pretend that it looks like that. And then let's just bring these guys down, connect that up. Get rid of this one here. Something kind of like that. And then, if we take these guys here and just bring them down and create the shape that we want, so there's that top bubble piece, and then the fascia, and then bring that back out, create the bottom, bring that back. It looks something kind of like that. We'll have to do some extra work to make it look better. Actually, let's get rid of a few loop cuts in here. That's pretty high poly. Okay, so that's looking okay. Of course, right now we don't have any sense of scale, because this is actually the whole size of the top bump. We need to pull this way down. Let's go into side view. So right there is good. Bring this one down. Okay. Then just connect these vertices like so. Okay, so if we look over here, we actually do have this being continuous, so we need to bring this one around as well. But it gets a little bit shallower, so should end right about there. And then we can just bring this guy across. Okay. Then we have to do similar things down to this bottom one here. Let's see, how do we want to go about this? Pull that out like so. Let's merge these two vertices here. Maybe not like that. Okay. And of course, while it's supposed to look continuous, it isn't actually that continuous. It's just that we'll be extruding from this line to make out the door. Let's not do that right now though, because it's really messy. And then we just need to flatten this up. So this is all going okay. Not exactly sure what we're going to do for this. We might just bring it back and then pull that across there. We may want to sharpen that up. Yeah, we'll sharpen that later though. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Although, I think at this point, we can just bring those together, and it'll work a little bit better. Okay. Now let's bring this whole thing back. Even that up a bit. Okay. So if we unhide that now, it's looking a bit better than it did before. We still have to do a little bit of work in here just to make it look right. So let's just take these guys and bring them up a bit. That's looking a bit better. It's definitely a little bit higher poly than last time. Also, let's go ahead and recalculate those normals. So that's looking decent. Actually, we need to expand this out a bit too. And let's pull it back like so. Okay. So next up, we will be continuing working on our dash. In this next section, we are going to continue working on creating more details on the dash. Okay, so for this next bit, let's take a look here. This up here is a little bit sharper than we have it right now, so let's go ahead and start sharpening things up a little bit. Let's take this one there, this one there. That's pretty good. Let's sharpen this up here, and that'll give us a nice crease to work with. Let's see. I think I'm missing something here. Ah, there's a triangle. Right there. Let's delete that face. Just create a crease there and a crease there. Or a loop cut, sorry. I think something else is happening here. Let's just play around with that a little bit. So that's okay. So we can sharpen that up. Okay. However, I don't think it's necessary up here, so let's just go ahead and merge these. Actually, I want to try. Nope, dissolving does not work. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. We should be pretty well good to go for right now. I want to start working on the doors a little bit later, but I think for now we can start working on bumping up the little cover that goes over the console, or over the dials. So let's go ahead and duplicate this and move the object to the last layer. That way, if we do screw up on something, we can always come back. So let's apply this mirror modifier. So that's now separated. And let's make it a local view. So basically what we're gonna do is take this right here through right about, I don't know, where's the middle? Should probably be about here to here. That makes up our little console view. So, let's delete those vertices there. And that one there too. Okay. Let's just bring this one up. Okay. So that's going to be kind of the top of our dome. Then we can just take these, and actually there's this really cool tool. That's the shear tool. So if we hold down Shift, or Control, Alt, Shift, and S, and then we pull, it'll keep the same shape along the side here, but it'll allow us to rotate the object. So it's a pretty nifty little tool. So let's pull that back. So like rotating, you'll get a different size, but yeah, the shear tool works a little bit differently. Although sometimes it can be a little bit hard to work with. I think in this case it's okay if it changes size though, because if we look over here, this is pretty thin. And another cool tool, the bridge to edge loops, is a lot of fun. Definitely speeds up workflow. Okay. Let's plop two loop cuts in there. One there, one there. That's starting to work a bit. And back there. And this is definitely looking a bit cleaner than it did last time. Although, wow, what's going on there? Let's just get this all cleaned up and how you want it. It'd kind of be nice to have a reference, but I didn't really find one that was better than this for just a straight-on orthographic view. So I wonder if we can just edge slide this, bring it down. Yeah, it's looking pretty decent. And then we can sharpen that up, right, like so. And of course, sharpen up like so. Okay. And maybe one more. Now we're starting to get that crease. Well, my crease is a little bit different than this one here, but I think this is fine. So that's looking okay. Although this isn't right down the middle. That's fine. So this is looking pretty good. We need to sharpen up a little bit more. down here maybe. And I think we almost have enough of these loop cuts in here at this time to just do as we did before. So we're pretty much going to have the same workflow as we did for the seat. Although first I want to merge these two. So we can just run this down side there, SX, remove doubles, like so, SX0, remove doubles. Oh, they are not aligned. Let's make sure that these ones are in fact aligned. So if we remove these doubles, three were removed, so that's good. Let's bring those to a point. And that'll just kind of end this crease back there and have it fade away. Okay. I think one should go right in there. So, right as we did before, we need to separate or create a little gap here. So basically we need to separate all of these ones. And I'm wondering if we can just hit V, and we can. So that's pretty sweet. So all I did was hit V to rip the face. Sounds a little gruesome. So if we just slide these across, like so, we can create those little triangles. And then we can actually just use our bridge tool. Unfortunately, you can only do 2 loops at a time. Or, yeah, you can't just select all of them and have it work out. I think we got a face under there that's screwing things up. Nah, maybe not. Just looks like it. Actually, maybe we do. Oh. Well then. Yeah, these aren't holes. So we kind of need to pull that way, this one this way. And just try to make them look the same width, roughly. Okay, so that's starting to create little creases that we can work with. This should be pretty fast. Okay, and then we just need to fill in those triangles, so using the circle select tool, we can just quickly go along and fill in those faces. Like so. Although, now we need to put a single crease or loop cut right through the middle of all of those things that we created there. Select those edges. There we go. Let's go into either view works. Just pull them down. And now we get some creases. Although I think we need to work on the spacing a little bit. Let's just pull this across a little bit. This one too, maybe. I probably should have gone out and found a reference. Or at least something to help with spacing. But that looks okay. Might want to separate these guys out a bit. So if we just hit S and then X, it doesn't work as well. But I believe if you hold down Alt and then S, we can just, well, let's deselect those ones. And those ones. Then Alt S, and we can relax them a bit. Bring that up a bit, like so. I want to bring this up just to bow it out a bit. Okay. So that's looking pretty good. We need to do that over here to this right there. Let's go ahead and just hit V. Pull this one across over there. Pull this one back. Let's rip that face too. That one there too. Okay. Bridge. Fill. Fill. And that needs to come down to about there. Although I think at this point it doesn't really matter. So that's looking pretty good. Next, I think we will be working on creating the door panels. So let's get digging in on the doors. So, after unhiding the vehicle, or the rest of the car, we can see that we put our crease a little bit too far in toward the middle, because at this position, it's going to be intersecting with our seat. So let's go ahead and move that. Actually, let's hide our windshield and the windows. That way we can see what we're doing. So let's just take these guys there. I'm actually going to just leave some of those vertices behind. Let's leave that one. Okay. And our seat is actually slightly too wide. So let's just take our seat object here. Scale it down along the X, and that should be good. So this side is ready to go. Let's go ahead and fix up this side now. Just taking those vertices there. Let's leave that one behind. Deselect those side. Just pull those over, like so. So now there's plenty of room to get back there. Okay. So we're just going to build the door off of this shape right here. So let's deselect that one there. So this shape right there makes up the new door. So let's pull this back along the Y. And you can see that we're already starting to get that shape right now, which is really cool. So let's pull that over there. Extrude another one down. Sharpen this up against the side of the door a little bit. Up against the side of the car. And actually we may want to do that on the dash too. That way it cleans things up a bit. A little bit hard to see. So if you're having trouble, feel free to hide some stuff. I'm just going to hide the side of the car. Bring that down. And let's connect that up like so. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Then we can just sharpen things up a little bit, like so. Although sharpening this right up here is probably not a bad idea, so let's do that. So sharpen that up. That way these two objects just meet up very nicely. And of course we have another cut in there. Have to play around with this a little bit more, but overall that looks fine. Let's set it to smooth shading and recalculate those normals. So that's looking pretty good. Now we need to pull this one down like so. That was really easy. A lot easier than I was expecting. So it looks pretty good. Let's unhide the body now. Hide that seat. Take this bottom here, extrude that down, hit SZ0 just to line it up or even things out a bit. So that's looking pretty good. Now we need to line the inside of the door even where there isn't more door. So let's just extrude out along the Y. My computer is dropping keys on me here. So that looks pretty good. And then we can actually just continue this back to the back of the vehicle. And as I was saying, this top part here actually lines the entire interior of the car. I'm going to see if we can add a mirror modifier add a mirror modifier here. And get the other side done quickly. And it looks like that works out. Well, sort of. We'll have to clean this side up a little bit, but overall not too bad. And then we can just bring that over across, bring those together, pull that back. And that looks actually pretty good. Oops. Poof that up a bit. Okay, so the interior is now pretty well lined out. We do need to cut the door, so just like we kind of did for this shell here. And actually it really doesn't matter too much as long as there's a crease, because unless you're having this door open and close, which I'm not planning on doing, no one's really going to notice if you just kind of fake it. Just as long as it looks right. So let's go into side view here. And we're just gonna edge slide stuff. So bring that forward. This is getting a bit difficult. I'm gonna actually hide most of the mirror modifiers right now, just so that we can see stuff more easily. Let's hide that one there. And our door handles too. Okay. So let's also hide the inner rim. And then we can just bring this back. So edge slide that over. Let's deselect that guy there. Can't exactly tell where the door is supposed to be, but I think this is okay. Looks about right. Good enough. That's going to be hidden by seat anyway. So no one's actually going to notice that. So let's put in another loop cut there. Actually, no. Let's separate this. So hit V, just separate that out. Let's go ahead and hide. Okay, so that did not separate completely. Nope. It's not going to let me rip that. What are we still connected to? Okay, I'm just going to delete that edge. That should still be okay. So let's hide that side over there. Actually, let's go into local view mode. And just select everything along that edge there. And bring it across once and twice. And let's just fill in those vertices there. Now let's unhide this back section. Hide over there. What is still connected? Oh boy. Okay, so we've got an edge down here that is still connecting everything. Oh yeah, we didn't break it. So that should be separated now. If we pull this one back there. There, it doesn't really matter too much if it's properly done, because it's kind of hidden inside the car. So let's just hide this back there. Take this edge, bring it across, so. Connect those guys up. And then if we put a loop cut there, and a quick loop cut there, unhide the rest of the vehicle, that looks pretty good. So there is the inside of the door. Let's go ahead and turn on our mirror modifiers again so that we can see the entire car. Yeah, that is looking quite good right now. So next I'm planning on working on things like the inside door handle, the little knobs, maybe, well, before we finish up here, let's bring these guys out a little bit. I missed that. So let's pull it out along the Y. Let's deselect those ones, deselect those. a little bit more. And that just makes it look a little fancier. And also, this gets pulled out, which it's supposed to be. I think these ones are too a little bit, but we'll just leave those. It looks fine right now. So there is most of the interior. And we will just be detailing the interior next. This concludes this episode. In the next episode, we will detail the interior with knobs, switches, creases, and a steering wheel. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please like it and subscribe to BlenderWiz for more videos. If you have suggestions for future videos or suggestions to help make these videos better, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out the BlenderWiz Tumblr and Facebook pages.